Hello Sagittarius, and welcome to your July 2024 forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. It's great to see everybody. This reading can be used for Sun, Rising, and Moon. Let's get started with channeled messages. Today in dreams and meditation, one image kept coming through loud and clear. I saw an egg and it was just starting to get ready to hatch. I could see a little fine hairline crack at the top. Now, an egg in general requires some love, some attention, an incubation period. And we can connect the egg to the Ace of Pentacles because it's just like a seed, a beginning. This month is basically opening you up to something new, some sort of a possibility on the horizon. But just like that Ace of Pentacles or the egg, there's almost a question from the universe, which is, one, are you ready? You ready to receive? Two, are you also willing to follow through and do the work, put the time and energy in, and be patient? So devotion, attention, belief in self, all of these things are part of success, and the follow through, especially the follow through. If you're ready to do that, I feel like there are many opportunities that could be opening up. Just looking at that Ace of Pentacles, that can represent a new job. Could be someone reaching out their hand and saying, hey, I'm thinking of you for this project or this opportunity. It can also be an invitation in love. For those of you that have been in a relationship for a while, something could be getting serious. There could be someone that just asks you out on a date. It's potential, it's opportunity. The main thing for you this month, Sagittarius, is being ready and willing to meet that opportunity, and then to get into the energy of the Queen of Pentacles, which is nurturing. It is a developmental card. It's abundance and fertility. This is a good month so far. So let's go ahead, take a look at the cards now and see where your aces are kind of coming through, and if there's any challenges or any sort of roadblocks that are kind of getting in the way, and we'll try to help you get around those. How's that for starting off? I said, let's look for your aces. We have one right at the beginning. Queen of Pentacles, another synchronicity. So much partnership energy coming through. Look at this, Six of Cups, Four of Wands. All right, and a little bit of healing. We'll deal with all of this in a moment, but I always enjoy the synchronicities when they appear. Wow, is all I can say. We have, again, 3 cards of love. There's some challenges in work. We'll look at that in a moment. Some great energy when it comes to manifesting partnerships. It's a powerful month, let's put it that way. Significant changes coming forth. Let's get started with your catalyst energy first and foremost. You got 2 cards here. Let me go ahead and bring it up to the main camera. So we have the Earth's Heart as the first one. And then we had against nature, or against the grain here. So very interesting here. This is all about trusting yourself, feeling that sense of being grounded. I love that I was already picking up on the earth energy, and we have the Queen of Pentacles. So the first thing that I would say is, seems like many of you this month have your feet firmly planted on the ground. You know who you are, you know what you want. If there is anybody that comes in and tries to kind of like upset that balance, that it's going against common sense, nature, going against the grain, this is where you need to kind of put your foot down and create a line in the sand and say, I don't think so. That doesn't feel right. That doesn't sound right. Or I need more information or more time. It's a really important time to also focus just on the energy of grounding altogether. These cards were kind of on their side. They weren't really reversed. So what we're seeing here is something's a little bit just off center, and it makes sense because the crowning card was justice reversed. So the scales of balance are a little bit out of whack. So what you want to really focus on is finding your even footing, finding your grounding, staying grounded if you already are. And then of course, focusing on things like time, energy, and money. I recently pulled a card in the daily card pull, and I said, it's not always fun to talk about resources or money, but this is a month where it's important to do so. Whether it's in your family connections, your relationship, or business, it needs to come to the forefront. This is a really interesting illustration because we have this, I said I would help you find the blocks. The block is right here. Don't do something that's counterintuitive, against what's natural or feels right to you. You know your own sort of best interest better than anyone else, and you can see things really clearly this month because the cards are just showing like wisdom and clarity. So trust in that. If you don't trust in that, it's going to be really difficult for other people to believe in you and to engage. Okay? So stay grounded, talk about money. If you need to, do things that feel right. And if something doesn't, say no. All right? Justice reversed is just a simple no sometimes. But we'll go a little deeper into all of that in a moment. So to that end, before we take it card by card, finding and using your voice and speaking up against things that don't feel right, definitely a part of this spread. There could be a cause to celebrate when it comes to relationships in your life, whether it's your immediate relationship or someone around you. There could be cause to celebrate. There could be birth energy coming through, birthing, fertility, just like I said at the beginning with the Queen of Pentacles. And there's definitely some healing to happen. Let's get started with your centermost card, the Ace of Swords. So, one of the central themes this month for your sign is using your communication skills, finding your voice. Even if you've been historically kind of told to be quiet or don't speak up, this is the reverse this month. It's saying now more than ever, it's important to ask a question if you have one. Share feedbacks, thoughts, or ideas if you have them. And also just practice active listening. Just be a good, like really engaged on all parts when it comes to your communication. Good speaking skills, good listening skills. Not only that, this card reminds you of the power of putting things into a written form. It doesn't have to just be sort of writing it down on paper. This could include a blueprint, a specification, a technical document, any way that you could convey this in such a way that people could understand it. But somehow taking a pen, a pencil, or a digital device and putting this into visual written representation. So for those of you that are writers, this is an excellent beginning card, but the power this month comes in communication. Now, crossing this card, we have the Six of Cups, which is all about relationships. So obviously, one of the areas where communication is going to be absolutely essential is in core relationships. This can be between a parent and a child because these children can represent the young people in your life. Sibling energy can also be coming through in this. This can also be someone from your past, from when you were a kid, and you're reconnecting with them now and saying what needs to be said. I love you, I miss you, I'm sorry. Something from the past, something left unsaid, now is the time to clear the air. There could also, for those of you looking for love, be such a strong connection this month that you can't help but to speak up. And windows of opportunity, when lightning strikes like this, it's basically the universe saying you owe it to yourself to at least put yourself out there. Whether it's love or a job or whatever, if it feels good, trust it. Again, if it goes with nature and with that feeling of intuition, do it. Don't force it though. So make sure that there's a reciprocity on both ends, and when there is, go for it, folks, okay? Because we got a child card and also one of fertility, some of you might be having a child or children. This can be twins, or you might be having the second child. If you're not looking to be pregnant, always a warning there of the potential for fertility. But for everyone else, this is just the ability to network and to birth or create something. So for those that are single and happy and just looking at business, that's how we would interpret that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the deep past now. In the deep past, we have the Nine of Pentacles. This is a card of wealth, independence, sustainable growth. And the one note with this is just slow and steady wins the race. It's not about how quickly, but how well you do it. And it's also just about making sure that you're looking at goals that are many months or years down the line, not just the quick and immediate win. So in the upright position, we see a woman surrounded by abundance, all these poppies and daisies and flowers. In fact, she herself is almost like in a state of blossoming and growth and expansion. Now, just compare it for a second, if you will, with the traditional Nine of Pentacles. Always abundance, growth, luxury is even a component of this. But in the corner, we have that snail. So taking your time, taking it all in, focusing on something that over time, even when we're looking at investments here, it's something that can last the test of time. So keep your focus on the long-term goals and you should be in a good space. Try to be patient with yourself with any sort of new endeavor that you're working on. And also, this is a time when you can lean on yourself. So this is typically a very, very independent card. When it's reversed, maybe you're wondering, can I do this? Can I take this on? Can I handle it? Invariably, this card is saying, yes, you can. In the recent past here, we have the Nine of Cups, a cause to celebrate. And when we're connecting it here to all of these, there could be an announcement. So there could be an engagement, a friend of yours or someone that you love, perhaps you. There could also be a new birth that's coming in here because we see the card here that can represent pregnancy and then children and then an announcement. This could also be you looking at your life and thinking, I'm really grateful for what I have. I'm even grateful for what I'm releasing, and gratitude can be part of this. So, Nine of Cups, joyful, celebratory, high energy for sure. The only thing you want to be mindful of with Nine of Cups is sometimes it can be a card of extreme highs or extreme lows. We get kind of like caught up in the moment. Try not to make any important decisions when you're in those extremely elevated or perhaps extremely low energetic spaces. Try to find the middle ground if you can. But what I love in this card is just the joy and the brightness in it. When was the last time you allowed yourself to have some fun? What I'm seeing here in the deep past is you've been working hard, some of you, but denying yourself the chance to celebrate. So when we look at the crowning card and we see a lack of balance, that could be it. It could be just creating some joy in your life, work-life balance, making more time for friends, for family, for children. And if that brings you more joy, that's exactly where you should be putting the energy and finding the balance. Moderation is key in this card. So we want to also make sure when it comes to anything that you're doing, whether it's work, food, exercise, partying, everything has its space and time. And that is absolutely characterized in the Justice card reversed. So this is knowing when to say knowing when to say no, and also realizing once and for all what needs to be adjusted in your life. If something is creating an unusual amount of stress, making it difficult for you to concentrate, or if you just feel like something's come to a close, you want to quit a job, it's time to release a relationship, or you're ready to let go of a habit that you don't like, Justice reversed is clarity. And it's like saying once and for all, no, let's move on. And understanding the power, and there is power in saying no. I don't know why we have such a hard time doing it. I think it is empathy. If I had to get to the bottom of it, particularly the people tuning into the channel here, because many of you work on, your spiritual side, being empathic, really trying to put yourself in other shoes. So sometimes we're afraid of hurting someone, but no can also be a liberation. It's letting someone know exactly where you stand, and it frees them to find a connection that's better for them too. So it's really a win-win, even if it's momentarily kind of a little difficult to get the words out of your mouth. Once you say it, it's freedom, right? As we take a look at the near future, we have the Hermit in the reverse state, and this is an invitation basically to come out of your shell. This is also a reminder for those of you that have been working really hard on something, maybe doing some research, preparation, trying to make things perfect. It's saying at a certain point, enough is enough. So you're getting very close to completion, and it's time to also share ideas with others, especially when it comes to collaborative projects, because you may get to a point where someone says, well, if you just shared this with me, a couple days ago, I could have saved you some time, or now we have to go back and fix this. So being communicative, being open, basically the reverse of the Hermit. So all of that is part of this. Also bubbling up any sort of knowledge or special skills that you have. Sometimes we keep quiet. The Hermit in the upright position is basically just kind of staying quiet, keeping to yourself, working on your own, doing that research. this is a time to not be a wallflower, to basically speak what you need to speak, as we just saw in the center here. If there's a question, if there's a thought, if there's an idea, bring it up. If you need to say no, say it. You can also get some support here. You don't have to do this all on your own. So by the way, this is a fiercely independent card, the Nine of Pentacles, but now we see friendship and partnership coming through, power in numbers. And that way you won't feel so isolated or kind of in the spotlight. The other thing here, if we look at this card, this is a very unique version of it, but the Hermit has all of these little mushrooms growing around their feet. It's basically indicating stagnation. So an end to stagnation, a chance to move your thoughts, move your ideas, move your energy, and again, maybe even change up where you're working or living for a little bit, just to jumpstart the intuitive and energetic juices as well. The Hermit always holds a lantern, which typically has a star in it. So there's also this indication that in the near future, you're going to have a spotlight moment. So know this, you've done the work, you're ready. It's mostly just a matter of getting prepared in your own mind and body to embrace that opportunity. I said at the very beginning that this was a month where doors and windows want to open up, but it requires a feeling of like being deserving and being ready. And so if you're ready, some cool stuff is underway. And you're coming through with one of the most powerful and abundant cards, and it was what I featured in the channeled messages, Queen of Pentacles. So this is taking that opportunity and saying, yes, I'm ready, I represent this, I own this, I want to do it. And it's also putting your own sort of like stamp on things. In this card, you'll see a rabbit in the corner, a snake, and then again, that big old coin there. So the rabbit is speed and abundance. Once things get planted, once things start to take hold and begin to move, there's going to be some rapid movement and growth that follows. Your leadership skills, the snake here, and your flexibility are going to be put to the test. If I look at all the different queens, what I like about the Queen of Pentacles is she's not afraid to talk about what, money and deadlines and sort of like the scope of something. She's also not afraid to roll up her sleeves and get her hands dirty if there's something that needs to be done. This is a hands-on sort of month where you can lead, but you can also work hand in hand with someone else. And here we go again. As we look in the environment, we can see someone that you can trust. The Four of Wands is partnership, best friend energy. And in the sort of case of a business alliance or relationship, this is someone that truly has your back. So if this energy isn't here yet, it's coming soon and you want to hold the space. Sometimes the Four of Wands is empty. In this deck, we see it populated not only with these two people, but with more. So I actually feel like you're starting to attract multiple connections and partnerships this month that can help you bring something to the next level, that are also recognizing the value that you bring. Because I like to remind folks that what's in the environment is also a mirror of what you're presenting, and you're presenting this energy of dependability, solidness, grounded energy. All of that I was picking up on in dreams is coming through here as well. Let's look at the challenges. There's a couple of additional challenges. So far, we have one challenge is just saying no and creating balance. Another one is coming out into the spotlight, letting go of the need to be perfect. Now we see a card of shaking up the system a little bit here. So we have the Hierophant in reverse. So many different thoughts that are coming through here. The first one is, some of you have come to the realization that maybe you just don't like to be told how to do something, and you're discovering that you want to be more of like an entrepreneur, or you want to be in the boss energy, not the one that's being bossed around. So take that and decide how you're going to make that happen. As we look at this card, it represents structures and hierarchy. So we see a papal figure, we see two disciples, but we also see two keys here. He's in many ways an old symbol of like a gatekeeper, but you can take that key right there. You don't have to ask permission when this card is reversed. So this is encouraging you to find another path. If someone says no, if someone says my way or the highway, it might be worth looking at seeing like what's out there. You don't have to immediately call their bluff or create some sort of what's the word for it? An ultimatum. This is not the case here. Be creative, present a new way, and maybe even, I would rarely say this, but it's the way the guides are presenting it. you can always just kind of show them that it's possible and ask for, you can apologize later. Sometimes people just need a proof of concept. So if you can't find what you need in the realm of flexibility where you're at, whether it's the relationship or the job or this gatekeeper, there's something out there that will work for you, because Six of Cups and Four of Wands shows me interest, support, and open channels. Don't let one person saying no stop you. Some of them, this could also be a parent or a boss that doesn't want to let you go, because you're on this sort of upward trajectory. Even with the Nine of Cups, I could see that there was good news that was incoming. And sometimes people will use the following. They'll say, what am I going to do without you? Don't leave me here. But someone that unconditionally loves and supports you knows that you need the flexibility to spread your wings and try new things. And that's only a sign that, especially if it's a parent or an advisor, that they made a difference. They're helping you out. Growth is good. So take that away if you need to. It's okay to want to grow, to explore. And if anyone's trying to kind of anchor you in place, that is more of, that is a conditional sort of love. That is a codependent love sometimes. That is putting anchors on your wings. And we don't want to do that this month. The outcome is all about healing. And I feel like you're already there in the energy, but for some of you, it's seeing what's next, seeing beyond this person saying no, seeing beyond perhaps a relationship or even just anything in your life that just didn't go exactly as planned. So we can grow from everything, and this is seeing the silver lining. The heart is wide awake in this card, and all of those little wires around this, we just need to kind of like cut through some of those. And at the end of the day, sometimes it takes this for you to speak up, say no, or say you want something. So this can be someone who's acting foolishly or putting unnecessary constraints. This can be you just discovering that you're unhappy and you've kept it secret long enough. So now you're gonna advocate for what it is that you want. There are two ways this can go. For some of you, you're going to get support. People will say, why don't you speak up sooner? Six of Cups is receptive. Four of Wands is friendly. And they're seeing you as valuable. So it's all in how you communicate it and what you want in the long run. So I think you can make a really powerful impact this month in creating better balance and better abundance. So let's say that again. By speaking up, you can open up channels of abundance and you can find a balance that didn't exist at the beginning of the month. Okay, let's go ahead and dig a little deeper into health, wealth, love, and destiny so we can find how and where you can basically balance out these different parts of your life. We're going to start off with health. This is your mind, your body, and your spirit. I looked at this one right off the bat and thought, what a perfect card for health. The reason this card is so powerful here is that it's going to help save you time down the line. Listen deeply. Listen to your body. If there's any aches, pains, or discomfort, listen to your heart. We can see this person putting their hand right over their chest. And then just listen to your higher knowledge. If something feels like it's going against common sense, if something takes you out of that feeling of being grounded, if something takes you out of your heart, you know that there's a better way. So, and then also like speaking up and being proactive before something gets more challenging. That also is what this card is all about. On a sort of, I mean, this is almost veering into relationships, but this is also listening to what other people are saying, the tone of how they're communicating, and seeing, are they okay? Is there any sort of sense of frustration, aggravation, sadness? So it's how people say things, not necessarily the words they choose. And especially when you're focusing on your empathy, really pick up nonverbal cues in others as well. And you may be able to help other people who might be going through something. Let's just look at the cards themselves and see what additional messages are coming through. I am drawn immediately to the top two. So if there's something in your life that's creating this sense of frustration, anger, or discomfort, you know that it's time to say no. This is a card, not just, it's balance on all levels. So for some of you, you may be dealing with like an inner ear issue or vertigo. Obviously, you'll work with the appropriate professional for that. Some of you might be deciding I'm working too much, or I'm having too much fun, or I'm exercising too much. We talked about extremes. No extremes. We're finding balance in all things. In the way that you're even just your diet, your exercise, your sleep, everything has to have its proper place. So take some time this month and figure it out. You don't have to do it all at once, and you don't have to do it on your own. Like I said, you can lean on the professional assistance of others, but just make some time this month. That's the big takeaway. Three of Swords is not just emotional challenges in your life, although it can be. So if you're dealing with sadness, anxiety, or depression, it's a great time to seek out the support of a therapist. But this is also just a reminder to take care of your heart, literally. So eating well, because diet is part of heart health, cardiac health, I should say. So making sure that things are low in cholesterol, for instance, looking at, for those of you that may have a history of blood sugar, making sure that you're eating properly. And in addition to that, cardiovascular exercise too. So prioritizing the heart, finding balance in your life, and if there's something that makes you unhappy, dealing with that. All of those came through first. A lot of it is emotional and mental, because that affects everything else in your life. So that's the first thing that I'm seeing. Just an acknowledgement that there could be, again, a big life change for some of you. So there could be the announcement of children in your life. There could be, for some of you, new marriage, because Six of Cups and Four of Wands could represent that. Something changing, something shifting. There could be divorce, because the Justice card in reverse can be that as well. So major changes. No matter what, it feels like it's change so that you can heal and find balance. So I would dare to say change for the better. But the only warning that I have for you is that now is the time to find the balance, because if you let this go another month or two, then it can turn into the Tower, and we don't want that. The rest of the cards are fairly good. Change up the routine for those of you that are exercising or trying something like even meditation. If you feel like you're stuck, it's time to try different methods and not do the same thing all the time. We get bored. Our body gets bored. It's good to have change and variety. A lot of social energy, and I'm very much in support of this. Having some fun, connecting with friends, making time for love. Yes, on all counts. Okay? And that's everything for health. Let's shift the focus to wealth. This is your resources, your life purpose, and your career. We have a challenging card coming through here. So the whip can represent someone who's abusing their power, their authority, who might also be trying to coerce you into doing something that just doesn't feel right. What I love about the way that this one is illustrated is we actually have something that reminds me of Medusa here. So you have the power to bring this to a full stop. And this is going to help you avoid like Ten of Swords energy down the line. And again, for many of you, it's as powerful as just saying no. If someone asks you to do something that, by the way, I didn't even talk about this. So we're looking at wealth, and we'll break it down into all the categories in a second, but it's very important to follow regulations, rules, legal contracts. And if someone is trying to coerce you to break that contract, no, don't do it. It'll catch up to you. It'll catch up to them. It's going to protect everybody for you to try to get them to stop, but definitely to keep yourself out of that mess, okay? And if someone is abusing your kindness, your generosity, this is where you bring the scales back into balance and just say, I've helped as much as I can. I can't help you with this. That's a nice way of saying no. Protect yourself, push back on pressure, and if someone is acting either in a way that isn't legal, isn't kind, or is harmful, you absolutely can say no, walk away, and get the protection you need. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at this in three different categories. Those who are working, those who are seeking employment, and then we'll look at a combination for the retirees and students. Focusing first on those that presently have a job. So this warning can apply there. It feels like this would be someone in the environment that's trying to push a bad decision. So say no, stick to the handbook and the rules and regulations, remind them of that. Cover yourself as well. Get an email trail if you need to. Let's leave that out and just focus on everything else here in this spread. So one thing that I'm seeing for some of you, and you can stick around for the very next section, is it's time to move on. In a very clear way. Justice reverse means that maybe you feel like you've been treated unjustly, you're not getting the proper sort of support, care, or acknowledgement that you want. Maybe you're just unhappy. And if that's the case, it's okay. It's time. Trust yourself, okay? The things that seem to be triggering those that are on that path are a very rigid way of doing things. Literally, it's like black and white, this way or no way. And sometimes a feeling of being isolated and you wanting to come out of that isolation. I see a lot of love, a lot of support if you decide to move beyond this. So do stick around for the next part. If you're in a happy job and you want to understand how this applies to you, if everything's going okay, here's what I'm seeing. You may be overworking, or you may be over socializing. Find that balance. That's going to be important. Some of you are being pushed into the spotlight, or you realize you need to come out of your shell a little bit. There's a lot of ways you can do that, from getting involved in a like a speaking organization or in a professional organization, or just talking to some people that have successfully figured out how to get rid of stage fright. And that's one thing that you can do to just become a better communicator, because we see communication being key this month. The other thing that I see for you is a chance to, if you don't like what's going on in an organization, power in numbers. You can actually affect change and create a better structure. Someone has to do it eventually, right? That's how things get better in our legal system when it comes to just, general government and law and education. Maybe you're one of those change makers. And if you want to be one of those change makers, I see something worth shifting and moving. And you could stay within the system and fix it. So there's that choice as well. But everybody this month that's working, there's a chance to do, you may just want something beyond this. There does come a point in your career. If you're just starting out, you may not be here yet, but give it 10, 20, 30 years. There comes a point where you realize work isn't everything. Even when you love the work, it's like, yes, I have to do some other things too. So I really believe for many of you, this is just about seeking gratification, fulfillment, and satisfaction outside the realm of work, putting more energy into family, friendship, and love. So we'll be looking at that next, but that's it. No matter how perfect your job is, there does come a point where it's like, I need a little bit more. And for the rest of you, there could just be some morale issues, some changes in management, and you just have to keep your cool. If everything else is okay, it's just about being patient here, because I see some organizational shifts. I think someone may be quitting. It could also be a very high figure here, the highest one, a CEO or your boss, and now you might not be happy about that, but otherwise things look good. All right, that's every possible interpretation of that for those that are working. For those that are seeking employment, the first thing that you want to do is focus on just your general health and happiness. And I'm feeling good about your negotiation power this particular month. 9 of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, really, really strong. Do your homework. Don't be afraid to ask for something. Keep it realistic, obviously. But I think as long as you are doing your homework and keeping it real, then you have a good chance. These are celebratory cards. 9 of Cups, 6 of Cups, 4 of Wands. Where you're going to really excel is face-to-face, one-on-one conversations. It's the biggest challenge now, biggest thing that I've seen change in the job industry since the early 2000s when I was coming out of school and working, because it was so much easier to get a face-to-face interview. Now so much of it is digitized and digital, not digitized, but digital, online. Basically, you're just one of many submissions. So you have to get more creative, possibly even navigating through social media to find ways to kind of make a splash or make an impact. So yeah, if you can figure that out, this could be a networking event. This could be a friend that has a connection, somehow circumventing the system in a way that's, okay. We want to stick to legal things, but yeah, it's who you know, not necessarily just what you know. And that's been a common theme over the past several readings. So I see it here again for you. There's something on your resume that should possibly be highlighted a little bit more. The Hermit in reverse shows me wisdom, talent, or insight, but it's kind of like undersold. So really make sure that you're spotlighting things in a way that puts you in the best light. The next thing that I got was a clear indication from Spirit to not go into a negative place. Don't be emotional, don't be critical. You can be constructive in the criticism, but you want to take it into the energy of the Hermit. How might this happen? Someone may know about the previous place that you worked, and maybe there was something that was in the press or something that didn't go well, and they'll say, oh, I read about that. What did you think? Spill the tea. Try to be professional about it. What you can say is, yeah, it was a really challenging situation. I learned that, transparency is really important. I learned, how to navigate difficult conversations. And I also learned that it's important that people have the freedom to speak up. And one of the things I like about your company is your culture, which encourages blah, blah, blah. So bring it back into the present and that job. I'm just using a hypothetical there. If they also ask, like, why did you quit? You can always talk about growth. You can say, I did everything that I did. I was very communicative with my boss. They encouraged me to seek out other opportunities because I had gone as far as I could in the track. Because you're now talking about transparency, you gave them notice, and you say the reason I'm attracted to this place is because you really put an emphasis on growth and education and whatever. Again, using hypotheticals, but that will help you. Keep it in the energy of what you learned and what you like about this new company. And never point the finger too much at the old one, because one day this company is probably going to be an old one and they're looking at how you would treat them as an ex-employee in the future. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on. Those are loaded questions. Do your best to navigate and bring it back to an optimistic or constructive note. Okay, that will set you head and shoulders above the rest. That could land you a position because they're seeing boss potential there. Someone who can learn from challenging experiences, thrive, even if there is adversity or something that wasn't ideal, and maybe even turn it around. Maybe you have a success story out of that. Say, you know what started out really challenging ended up being the best experience of my life. Anyway, I feel like some of you could get a job because you're learning how to communicate well, having difficult conversations. Where are you going to find it potentially? Like I said, it's who you know, not necessarily what you know. So work on the networking, and I feel like that's the best thing here. Don't go for something that you don't want. Don't get pressured into it. This can be mom, this can be a friend, this can be someone who's like, you really should do this, or just say yes, just sign on the dotted line. Only do it if you want to, because if not, who are you satisfying with that decision, right? Okay, we just looked at those that are employed, seeking employment. Now let's take a look at those of you that are students, and then we'll look at retirees. Students, there's too much going on right now with the Justice card in reverse. Maybe there's too much of an emphasis on having fun or too much of an emphasis on working. Find your balance. You don't have to go one extreme or the other. Just find that happy medium. Make sure that your health and your mental health in particular is not being sacrificed right now. The good news is once you find the balance, the rest of the cards are very positive. People seem to really like who you are and what you're doing. I like your networking. Keep it up. And it feels like you're learning a lot. Just make sure it's a path that you like, and that you feel like everything that I just talked about for people looking for work also applies to students. Make sure that the program that you're in allows for enough creativity and flexibility for you to feel happy and feel like you're creating a program that's going to be good for you in the long run. Retirees. There's a lot of energy pulling at you from your maybe children, grandchildren, or friends. Not everybody has extended families, but I just see people in your life pulling at your energy a lot, and you may need to pull back a little bit. It's okay if that's the case. The hermit's coming through because you have a hard time saying no. In the reverse, it can also be that particular sort of like connotation. So make sure that you are finding enough balance in your life, not giving all of your time and energy to others. What I see coming through as very positive things is if you do want to meet new friends or find new love this month, it's bubbling up everywhere. So it's a great month for all of that. Also, for even though you're retired, I feel like you're doing something great with your finances, or there might be an opportunity that lands in your lap. People that are retired can still do consulting work, can still work, or you may decide to go back to school and learn something. There's something about development, money, or growth this month where you're in the middle of it. So have some fun with that, by all means. If you do decide to take any sort of trip, this is a very lush sort of scenery. I'm seeing trees and flowers, and we have this earth kind of energy too. So it feels like the connection to the outdoors is going to be really important. You don't have to leave your city, state, or province to do that. You can just, go to a national park if you want to, but finding a way to connect with nature is going to be very advantageous. Let's change the focus now and take a look at love. Really interesting energy coming through with this. So we have the seer, just like the high priestess. She's reversed. So it's almost like Two of Swords or Eight of Swords energy, trying to ignore something that's obvious. So say what needs to be said, do what you need to do, bring it out in the open. That honest and transparent conversation is going to help you heal anything that needs to be healed. With that in mind, let's take a look at 3 different categories: those in a relationship, looking for love, or single and happy. If you're in an existing relationship, let's take it at the most elevated view first, assuming everything is good and you just want to know how to keep it there. Well, first of all, I love the energy that's going into like friends and family. Keep that sort of focus, it feels like, because there's a lot of support, a lot of growth there. I also like the open lines of communication, which is just leveraging what I was talking about a moment ago. If you see something and need to talk about it, now's the time to do it. I think it's also time to plan a trip, a vacation, something to really just connect with the people you love the most. Even in the best of relationships, the things that I see bringing some challenges forth are the following. These come through as kind of like patriarchal or even matriarchal energies that are very either conservative or narrow-minded. And this could be someone saying, you can't do that. They may be trying to tell you who to love or how to live. And this is where you also will just put your foot down and say, thanks for the feedback, but no thanks. There could also simply be some frustration coming from work or exterior sort of forces where one or both of you may need a little bit more support, more than you normally do. So I'm seeing heightened emotions. I'm seeing some pressure points coming from relatives and work. And again, it's in that sort of realm of very restrictive ways of thinking or operating. And that may be where the two of you kind of help one another see a new way, find some balance, or empower your partner to say no to someone like this. Especially, again, it came through for some of you in work, so it could just be too much stress, and it might be time to look at, other options for that. So if we take that out of the picture, now we'll go into the more challenging scenario where maybe you're looking at the relationship wondering, is this enough? There may be some difficulties in expressing yourself and your emotions. And both of you, these are very powerful cards, the Hermit and the Hierophant. So as a coupling, this is someone who doesn't talk as much as maybe the other partner would like. And this is someone who's very rigid in the way that they work. So not a lot of flexibility. Talk it out. Work with others if you need to. Again, this could be couple counseling. What I do love about this at the end of the day, you come across as very kind and very nurturing. I feel like you can find a way through this, but we have to deal with the emotional component. So as long as you can air your concerns, remember everything I talked about with jobs, it's the same thing here. Just sort of like letting them know that, you see a future with them, you have their back, they have your back, etc. But there's some things that need to be dealt with. Finding a way to navigate that is the challenge. If you've decided enough is enough, that's okay. I've been telling you this whole reading to follow your gut. And if you just feel blocked and you can't get what you need here, then stick around. We're going to look at those that are looking for love in just a second. Before I do that, let me see if there's anything that I missed. I think I got it all. Okay, so let's focus on, one last thing. Now I see what the challenge could be. Some of you, there could be an existing relationship where you're coming together, like there's two divorced partners and it's a blended family. That definitely can create some friction. So I see a lot of love here, but not everyone's going to be on board with this. Some of the elders in the family, some of the children, it's going to take time. So sometimes love is messy at the beginning. Just give it space, give it time, give people room to get used to it. If you love one another, they'll eventually get on board. And if they don't, that's a different conversation to have, but focus on the core love there. Okay. Now, for those of you that are seeking love, what I just said could also be in new relationships. One or both of you could be on a rebound. One or both of you could have an extended family. And if it's not children, you might be taking care of an older parent or something like that. And it's just about how to blend this with, anybody new that comes into the equation. The other thing that I'm seeing is almost like an instantaneous connection. I love when Six of Cups energy comes through for those that are seeking. It is instant camaraderie and friendship and butterflies, literally. Oh my gosh, how beautiful is that? It's butterflies in your stomach where you see someone and you think, I I have to say something. I have to take a chance. I have to start up a conversation. I agree. If you have that sense of connection, then go for it. The kind of people that you're bringing forth right now seem to be more relationship oriented. So if that's not what you're looking for, then maybe just take your time and focus less on relationships this month, or just be very honest at the beginning of what your intentions are. There is a chance to clear some things up with an ex that's going to help you in future relationships. So this could also be an old partner where you just have to clean the slate, or just let go. And let me see if there's anything else. So we have experience and wisdom coming through, and then this very playful and loving energy here. So I see an old soul. This is the time to kind of choose happiness in your life. So if you haven't given yourself, if you're afraid of being hurt, this comes across more as fear. But if you're afraid of being hurt, isn't it worth the chance of happiness? So that's the one sort of thing that I'll put out there for those of you that are seeking love. Okay, for those of you that are single and happy, good for you. There's still some opportunities for better balance in your life, emotional healing, and then changing things up. It feels like because you're unattached, you have a chance to really kind of like try a bunch of different things right now. You're still going to meet new people if you're open. Again, one of the really most powerful things that's coming through is your ability to make an impact with what you say and how you say it. It's not just the words, it's the emotion, because we have all the cups energy around this. So lean into your public speaking or communication skills, focus on the networking. Healing is paramount. That's the most important thing. And a lot of success, a lot of energy around growth and development and money this month. So it's a good time to put your energy into work. If you can see it, you can do it, especially in that area. All right, speaking of love, let's go to your destiny card. We have Eros coming through on this. He's reversed, but hello. Love begins within. So with this card upside down, it would be like the Ace of Cups. We could possibly even make this like the Page of Cups in reverse. But if you are entering into anything, a job, a relationship, an activity, and you're not where you need to be, you're looking at that to fill up a gap. And so this is really about focusing on seeing where you're feeling either sadness, emptiness, or a lack, and saying, before I just kind of put something in there just to fill it, let's make sure that it's the right thing. Focusing on unconditional love, loving yourself. If you can't love yourself unconditionally, it's very hard for others to do the same. So look in the mirror, look at your life, look at things and say, you know what, there's value here. I love this, or I'm working to create this, which will help me with acceptance and supporting myself. So I think that's the key thing, is unconditional love and support for you. It all begins there. But if you've been looking for love, there are so many indications here, from Six of Cups to Four of Wands to Eros. Yes, yes, and yes. All right, let's go ahead and expand this a little bit deeper and look at sun, rising, and moon sign messages. Give the cards a shuffle and see what's in store. Sun, rising, and moon. Sagittarius sun, you've got the Emperor card in reverse. This is a chance for many of you to reclaim power. This is a chance for some of you to also get used to that energy of being in the spotlight or in the driver's chair. And if we look at this card in the upright position, we see him embracing his power, looking at the sort of seer energy that we had here and saying, I want this, I see this, I can do this. It's confidence, basically, is what's coming through in a really big way. You may also find yourself in a place where you have to push back on anybody that's trying to kind of make you do something that doesn't feel right, putting a stop to it, right? And so empowerment, reclamation of power as well, owning something and saying, you know what, I stand for this, I want to make this happen. And that's also kind of connecting to this wonderful developmental energy of the Queen of Pentacles. So all of that is coming forth with this. Solar plexus energy, there's a reason the sun is so bright on this. For many of you, you can work on strengthening the core through your exercise, breathing, and meditation, and that will help you out with this as well. And, you know, we have so many patriarchal cards that came through, all reversed, the Hermit and the Hierophant. And so for many of you, you're challenging conventions. We have this rebellious energy, and by all means, be the rebel, be the agent of change, speak up, speak your mind, say no if you need to. All of that's coming forth with this, and you're finding your power. So that's the main takeaway. Continue working on that. By the end of the month, you should feel much more confident, grounded, and ready for whatever comes through. Moving on to rising sign messages here. What I see for you is a chance to find new people if you want to, new friends, new connections, new love. There's a little bit of resistance. Three of Cups is typically a card of love and celebration and of options. It's not necessarily one where you immediately go into the energy of commitment. It's usually saying, I want to look around, I want to see what's out there, I want to basically explore. So give yourself a chance to do that in all aspects of your life, not just love, but just sort of sampling the buffet of jobs, of extracurricular opportunities, where you might want to live, what you might want to do for, a living, or what you might want to study in school. It's passion. So explore all the different areas in your life that allow you to feel that passion. This is a social card, and the reversal of this is kind of antisocial. So the encouragement here is to get out. You can meet people that you may not anticipate meeting, like a new job connection, a new love interest, a new friend. Coming out of your shell is going to be really, really good this month. We've seen a lot of cards inviting that kind of energy. So once you get to the destination, you're going to kind of be an unlikely social butterfly. Give yourself a chance to get out there. Looking at the moon sign, now we have the Empress in the upright position. So for whatever reason, Sagittarius moon, you're having a slightly easier time than sun. This is developmental. All of the stuff that I talked about with the Queen of Pentacles, these are very similar energies. Just a little bit more boss power with this. By the way, entrepreneurial sort of opportunities abound this month. And for the moon sign here, it's even easier to put the focus there. If you want to launch something, birth something, announce something, create something, do anything, the sky is the limit. I kind of like the Empress energy better than the Emperor because she can nurture, birth, and create. So very creative energy coming forth. Embrace it. It's time to focus now on the final question. This is a chance for you to ask one more sort of burning question that you have for this month ahead, and we'll see what Spirit has to say. Okay, there's so much to love about this. Yes, you got the Lovers, but before I turn the camera up, again, we have the Six of Cups, the Four of Wands, we have Eros up here in the corner. Now we have the Lovers. Yes, if you're looking for love, you can find it. If there's something that you want to do and you feel passionate about it, yes. Without a shadow of a doubt, this is a yes, if you were asking a yes or no. But the nuance and the encouragement and the sort of like dotted line underneath it is that the important thing is that you feel a sense of joy, fulfillment, and passion. Your heart will lead you in the right direction. It's a time to create more joy, to put a focus more on relationships in your life. Relationships can be alliances and friendships as much as they can be passion and love and marriage. So focus on the things you love, spending time with the people that you love, and of course, unconditional love for yourself, because some of you may be focusing on that a little bit, and we talked about that also with Eros. Don't force it. It feels like you being in a natural sort of state of being. That's the key thing here. You don't have to change who you are. You're perfect as you are. All right, that's the final note for today. I hope you enjoyed this. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be here and to be able to channel all the messages, and so much love today. I'm excited to see how this kind of ends up translating to all of you. So please drop me a comment as well while you're liking and subscribing. Leave me a comment, let me know what resonated. And if you want to follow me on social media so you never miss a future video, I'd love for you to do that. It's always my full name on all major channels. Remember, by the way, that I don't offer private readings, so if anybody reaches out and says that they're doing that, you can block and report. If anyone's DMing you in general, it's a fake. And there's a lot of them on TikTok, so be smart about that. You can always go to my main channel page to get the appropriate links, or to my website. Link is right here. If you want to give back, you can do it on YouTube. official channel here, and you can do it through super stickers, super chat, and memberships, and that helps the channel grow. It helps me do new things like podcasts, so thank you in advance to everybody that's able to do that. And at the end of the day, I just want to say thanks. Thanks for being the best part of what I do here, for spending the last 50 minutes or so with me, and I wish you all the best in the month ahead. Take care.